Right now in the lineup, Hurricane Erin makes a mess of the Jersey Shore, causing knee-deep flooding. We'll see what it looks like this morning.
Panic on a day that should have been celebratory. An active shooter hoax sends people scrambling for safety at Villanova University. We'll have the latest on the investigation.
And if you still need to get those last-minute school supplies, you do have time, but experts say parents actually need to stock up now if they want to save some money.
Those stories and more on today's edition of The Lineup. It's Friday, August 22nd, 2025.
Summer just speeding right on by. Hi, thanks for joining us. I'm NBC 10's Brenna Weick.
And I'm NBC 10's Erin Coleman. Let's get you up to speed with what you need to know today.
We start with the aftermath of Hurricane Erin. The storm led the flooding at Jersey Shore, and the rip current risk is still an issue.
Yeah, so this is Ocean City about an hour after high tide last night. Drivers riding slowly through the floodwaters at 37th and West Avenue. Never a good idea to drive through flooded roads.
Definitely, and it was a similar scene in Sea Isle City. This is 43rd Street between Central and Landis. Margate City was also impacted. We sent NBC 10's Neil Fisher there to check out the conditions this morning.
Floodwaters here in Margate have receded, but high tide at 7:25 this morning, so we will continue to monitor the water levels. The Margate Fire Department working tirelessly last night here along Amherst Avenue. They rescued 16 people from floodwaters in their cars, and they rescued 30 people from one of the restaurants here along Amherst Avenue. And we saw many flooded roadways as well as water levels continuing to rise in other places. This video taken in Ocean City last night. Officials talked about the dangers associated with driving through flooded roadways, but we saw plenty of cars driving through the floodwater. Nearly every intersection along Bay Avenue was submerged by water.
When I see this, first and foremost, I want to make sure everybody's safe and hope everybody is, being smart. We just saw some guy drive a Corvette through here. That was not smart.
My mother-in-law kept saying, be careful. So yeah, now that I see it, I'm like, oh my gosh. I feel bad for the people that rented this week because it's been the most horrific week ever to rent.
And in Atlantic City, we saw many flooded roads as well. They closed a handful of roads last night as water levels continued to rise, but they did reopen them at 12:30 this morning. High tide here in Margate is at 7:25. We will continue to monitor these water levels. Reporting in Margate, Neil Fisher, NBC 10 News.
Orientation will pick back up at Villanova University after a fake active shooter call was reported at the school yesterday.
Some students were only on campus for a day or two before this terrifying incident. Police swarmed the campus around 4:30, right after the first report of a shooter in Charles Woodger School of Law. Someone called Delaware County's Department of Emergency Services, saying a man with an AR-15 style rifle was firing shots. They got another call at 5:06 about a gunshot wound. After police confirmed those calls were unfounded, they gave campus the all clear, and then the university lifted the shelter in place by 6:32. The district attorney says his office is working with law enforcement to trace where those calls came from. NBC 10's Katie Zachary has more on how this impacted students and parents.
For hundreds of students, one of their first experiences here at Villanova was a panic-filled, chaotic one. This cruel hoax, as school leaders are calling it, was called in just as hundreds of students were with their families at a mass on campus. The excitement and anticipation of beginning a new year of college came to a screeching halt Thursday as dozens of police cars, sirens blaring, sped to Villanova after a 911 call was made about a man on campus with a rifle who was firing shots. An active shooter alert was sent out to everyone on campus just after 4:30 Thursday afternoon. Soon after that, the campus was placed on lockdown as hundreds of officers, many with tactical gear and guns drawn, searched the buildings for the reported shooter. Students, their parents, and faculty members were taking cover in places like dorm rooms, closets, even strangers' homes just outside the campus boundary. Some parents recalling how they first learned something was very wrong, saying they saw Villanova's president rushed away from an event.
The president be whisked off the stage, and the next thing they knew, everybody was just stampeding towards them.
We got up, we joined the crowd, and we were trampling over a lot of these folding chairs. They just started to go down, and people started falling over chairs.
What you hear is just run. And so that's what I did. I ran.
Once the all clear was given, several hours later, a blessing was held here on campus where hundreds of people showed up for that. Orientation events on Thursday that had to be canceled. All that will resume today. Reporting from Radnor Township, Katie Zachary, NBC 10 News.
NBC 10 will keep you up to the minute as the investigation unfolds. Make sure you download our free NBC 10 app so you can get the latest breaking news sent right to your phone. We are now less than 2 days away from when SEPTA's deep service cuts will take effect.
Yes, Sunday is the day as that deadline approaches. SEPTA leaders will talk about plans to ensure safety and a smooth transition ahead of the cuts. The transit agency is holding a news briefing at 10:30 this morning. We're going to carry that event live right here on streaming on NBC 10 and online on NBC10.com. On Sunday, SEPTA is set to slash service by 20% on buses, trolleys, and metro lines. Philadelphia's mayor is not sugarcoating anything. She tries to prepare people for what's coming.
This is nightmarish for the city of Philadelphia. There's no easy way to describe this.
The mayor is urging people to avoid driving into Center City if they can. According to the Delaware Valley Regional Planning Commission, 275,000 extra vehicles will be on area highways because of the impending cuts. We've got a breakdown of the timeline for the cuts and the specific routes that will be impacted. Just look for the SEPTA Funding Crisis tab on our homepage, NBC10.com. One more tune-up for the Eagles tonight.
The Birds hit the road to wrap up the preseason in North Jersey, not going too far. Jalen Hurts and the Super Bowl champs have been going at it in training camp for a full month, and tonight they are headed up to the Meadowlands to take on the New York Jets, I should say, right here on NBC 10. We've got a full slate of coverage for you tonight, starting with Eagles preseason kickoff at 7, with the game coming your way at 7:30, and then be sure to stick around for preseason final immediately afterwards.
In South Philadelphia, plans to rename another venue at the sports complex have been unveiled. Xfinity Live is being rebranded. A local vodka company, Stateside, just purchased the naming rights. So Xfinity will soon be renamed Stateside Live. The official change happens in the fall. The announcement comes days after the Wells Fargo Center became Xfinity Mobile Arena. Stateside Brands is based in Philadelphia. The company produces both Stateside vodka and Surfside iced teas and lemonades.
Back to school season is leaving a lot of parents kind of stressed out.
Oh, wow. In a recent survey, roughly 20% said buying supplies this year is straining their budgets. 44% said they plan to take on debt to cover the cost. That's up 10% from last year. This week, I spoke with an expert to break down some of the specific items costing families more and why parents may want to actually stock up. It's the annual rush to get that list and check it twice. School supply shopping is in full swing, but parents are definitely noticing something. Higher prices. The basics, such as notebooks, pencils, and glue sticks, are up 37% since 2019. Backpacks, and that's before you put anything in them, up nearly 30%.
A backpack a few years ago that was maybe $60, you're looking at spending sometimes $80.
Parent and consumer expert Cassie Slane bought all these school supplies for her 3 girls.
These are lower priced items, so you may not think, $1 versus $2 for a notebook, but that quickly adds up.
For elementary schoolers, and it really hits for students in high school and college. Laptops, tablets, and especially graphing calculators have gotten pricey.
This was, maybe $90, $100 a few years ago. Now we're seeing them $150. A lot of this is just general inflation. A lot of it's from COVID, just pent up, supply demand issues, and prices in general have gone up.
So what is the big takeaway for parents? I mean, here we are a couple of days before school is starting in many districts. What can they do to save?
So once September hits, that's when consumers are really going to start seeing an even higher jump in some of these prices. So shop early, stock up now.
You heard that right. Even though prices are a lot higher than they've been in the past, Slane says get what you need now and then some, because tariffs could raise prices even more.
That sticker shock is going to be passed on to consumers.
right, here's what happened. Retailers stocked up on supplies months ago because of the tariff threats.
Right.
But those stockpiles, they're running out, and the new shipments are more expensive. So that's why prices are going to be going up in a couple of weeks. Slane says it is always a good idea to comparison shop and perhaps switch to less expensive brands to save. Your son is going to preschool.
Yes.
Right?
In 2
So,
weeks.
so just wait till he gets into elementary
when he
school and you
needs
get this
actual supplies.
long list
Right.
of like, we need 25
Yeah.
glue sticks and whatever. And then as they get older, the things get more expensive. So
Right.
a lot of people are feeling it.
Calculators.
Yes.
Okay.
That's where I am now. All right, Philly's premier pop-up picnic, Le Dinner en Blanc, took over the Fairmont neighborhood.
Looked like fun. The 13th annual event was held outside Founders Hall at Girard College last night. Always a surprise where the location will be. This year's gathering had a Great Gatsby theme to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the classic F. Scott Fitzgerald novel. Dairy Queen is offering a sweet deal.
So right now, customers who spend at least $1 can get a free small vanilla cone. You do need to download the DQ app to redeem the deal. It ends on Sunday. We all love a little freebie, right?
I'm not going to say no to free ice cream. One thing about me.
Free anything.
That's true.
Yeah.
And especially ice cream.
Yeah.
That does it for today's edition of The Lineup.
For Brenna, Weick, I'm Erin Coleman. Remember, you can get NBC 10 News updates right here on the NBC 10 app and catch us weekday mornings from 5 to 7 a.m. Have a great weekend.
Happy Friday.